because I didn't have any of that tape.
Okay. Again?
Yeah, don't
All
kill
right.
me.
OU. I went to OU, graduated in 2021. Played soccer while I was there. School sucked. It was
School
really
does
hard.
Sucks really bad.
Took my NCLEX twice. Failed with flying colors twice.
What did you get the first time?
85.
Oh, she did fail with flying colors. What do we say about 85? You killed everybody on the test. And then you waited 45 days. Yeah. And what do we say about 45 days?
Killed everybody.
You kill everybody again in 45 days.
Questions though the second
Oh,
time.
you're big deal there.
I think I got 100.
Did you do anything different in those
No.
45? Well, damn. So what we know and we tell you and we warn you, if you're out there somewhere thinking I'm going to take the test 45 days after I just failed one, is you're guaranteed to fail. It's 100% failure rate. What gets people confused, tell me if this worked for you, if you thought that this was the way it worked. I get so many people that say when the failure comes in the mail, it says you can retake it in 45 days, and you think that's when you're supposed to retake it. Yeah. No, you're not. That ATT will not expire for, in this state, a whole year. Some states 3 months, some states 6 months. Thank God you're in a state with the whole year. And so people just take it in 45 days and they're guaranteed to fail. And they do.
And everyone in my classes from school were passing. I was like, oh, I'll be fine.
And what year did you graduate?
2021.
How was your clinicals even for COVID?
So it was... My clinicals were actually really, really good until COVID.
Oh, okay.
Because, so I took a 5th year. It took me 5 years. But COVID was my senior year.
Yeah.
Like right before my 5th year.
So you actually got a decent clinical
experience. It was pretty good until COVID, and then it was terrible. Like our labor and delivery, we all just sat in a little study room and did homework because they would have like one labor
thing
a day.
I would have loved to have seen.
I know. And then a lot of them didn't want us in there because of like
because they only get one person, and they don't want to catch it. Yeah,
so
I can see that.
But my clinicals actually weren't terrible. I had a really good senior precept too during COVID.
Okay.
I was in the ER in Marietta.
That's why you love the ER.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I loved it. My shift was, I did 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. and I loved it.
Oh. Now, what do you want them to know about that day that you tested? Other than she drove me to drink, which was wonderful.
I just had a little bit of a mental breakdown.
She did have a mental breakdown. She was like, I'm going to see you in class. I failed. And I'll see you. And I just, I'll see you. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I did. I was like, I just don't even have anything to say. Like, I'll see you on Tuesday.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if you know. I took my day. Of course I know. So the best part about that day that she called me with this hysteria was all I had to do was I had to do what I do with all of you who get hysterical. And by the way, 90% of you think you failed when you passed. So when she came out and she's talking all this crazy talk, I took my test this morning. I'll be back in your class, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, fine. How many questions did you have? And she said, 85. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I was in the middle of a case study. I'm like, oh, okay. So let me shut you the fuck up because you want some trash. You did not take my class for 32 years, which is how long you stayed in my class. You did not take my class that damn long to fail in 85 questions. Are you crazy? She was like, no, I know I failed. I know because I was in the middle of a case study and it just went bloop. She used the bloop. It just went bloop. I'm like, what we gonna do right now, because you want some trash, is take the trick. Let's just do the trick. And that doesn't matter. She did the trick.
I'm like hysterical too. Like this isn't just like a normal.
Well, that doesn't matter, Shelly, because I know that I failed. Okay. I'm going to see you next week, but it's going to be to testify, okay? You're going to come in class. You're going to tell everybody how you pass because you're on trash today. You're not listening. I love it, though, because you guys all do it. You all do it. You feel like you failed because the questions are so hard. And what test is this for her? Third. It's her third test, so it's not easy. It was really hard. And she's so cute. She's like, I studied all those meds, and I got one med question. I'm like, okay, Bobo. On her CPR, she had failed in pharmacology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're looking at what you failed, you should act crazy with that and study that. You should, because if you get, and remember what I said, the first 5, 10, 15 questions you start your test with are the hardest in the whole test bank. So they gave her her first question, and it was this med question, but it had a bunch of meds, and she nailed it. So they're like, oh, we can't fuck with her no more.
That was my first question. I was like, of course it's meds.
It's meds. It's meds.
But
They never gave her any more med questions at all.
Actually, it was more than one med.
Yeah, it was more than one, right? It was more than one in the question.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
never bothered you again because
Yeah.
you did your 6 meds, which is average. I love it. Now, what did you think? What did you think about what you did in the class, your preparation? What part of that do you think they need to focus on to get this done?
Oh, just do the mastery, follow it. That's what everyone says, but it's really true. And like,
You did start following it a year later, maybe a year later. Yeah.
And I feel like kind of take your time. Like, I never felt pressured to leave her class, and I like didn't.
That's
feel
for
ready.
sure.
But like, you can do it. It's just so intimidating, and
It is.
everyone can do it though. Like, if I can do it, you guys can.
And
Like,
bartend.
I genuinely mean that. But yeah,
Just when she first started. Don't worry about
yeah.
that.
Just put a lot of time into it and really commit to it, because then once you do it, like, it's such a relief. I'm so relieved after taking it.
You are. You
So,
look so happy.
yeah.
Like, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, that email like popped up, and I was like, I was just
She
going through my
called me.
email. What was the day after too that I got that
Yeah,
email?
we don't expect necessarily, but sometimes you get lucky that you get an email on a Sunday, right? And this was Saturday. Then she called and she got that email, and she was just sifting through, and it was like, wow, I got this email. You never know with the board, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Because I've had it where you took it that morning and got it that night. Like, that's really rare. But maybe they were bored. I don't know. But the same day, like, I've seen it a couple times, not often. Where they just like popped you up with, hey, you passed, girlfriend. So that's kind
I was with my friend. I literally just started crying, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "I got that test."
Denial! It's so strong in your body.
Yeah. But
Now, why did you really think you just did not pass?
it was hard.
It was hard. It was hard. That
It
was
was
her thing
hard.
to me. But it was so hard. Like, it was really, really hard. I'm like, yeah, but you got 85. Like, shut the fuck up. You got 85 questions. There's no, but when you fail in 85, you're not listening to Shelly. She don't know shit. What the fuck? All she do is teach NCLEX. She don't know shit. I kind of know that if you took my class and you took 85, you probably could stand here and testify about it. And what would you say you would advise them to do, just other than the mastery? Would you advise them to do anything extra
come to toe
right before you test?
The boot camp, that 3-day boot camp is awesome. I only could make the 2, but
Yeah, I would
that
agree
boot camp
too.
is awesome.
I would agree a boot camp here and there would be good.
Yeah,
That's why I let them come. If their scores are up, I'm like, please just
and it
come.
kind of makes you feel good, because like you're like, oh, I know more than I think I do.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. She did.
Negative Nelly.
What was your weak subject with your other 2 tests?
what was
I think
it?
you said
Farm-
maternity.
Oh yeah, maternity. I really struggled with, and what else did I on my CPR report? I think I didn't pass management.
Pharmacology and maternity. Maybe basic care or
Something like
procedures.
that.
Something like that.
But
now
I
it's
always
nothing.
had problems with maternity and
I had a
farm.
lot of that
But, and
in
I
that time.
honestly, that's really all that I like. Not all that I looked at, but the week before, I just like
Yeah.
really cranked in on that.
Yeah.
You had a lot of that on your television.
We're going to talk about what she had. Not on tape, though.
But yeah.
All right, so now I have to do my spiel all over again, which I'm really sad because it was coming from the heart, so I have to find my heart again. How did I meet you? How did you know about us?
Oh, my
Because
grandma.
my phone wasn't on. Her grandma. How did her grandmother know me? Way back when I was a nurse tech at Hillcrest, first ever hired. And it's not just Hillcrest, it's Cleveland Clinic Hillcrest. So imagine that what I did in 1983, 84, 85, 86, really sets you up for the Cleveland Clinic job I have now. So there I am with her grandmother. Her grandmother was in labor and delivery. Like I said, the way I ended up at Hillcrest is I got fired. And this is for everybody out there that got fired. This is for everybody out there whose darkest day was so dark you thought, I'm giving up. But you thought, I'll hang on, I'll tie a little knot, I'll hang on, watch my soap operas the next day, and cling to hope. So I get fired, and just to backtrack on the story, since the video wasn't on, I worked at Taco Bell, which is still around, it's still nasty. I'm sorry, Taco Bell, just my opinion. But I still go there because I like your nasty food, so it's okay. But if you ever worked in fast food, raise your hand. Am I lying? It's just nasty. It don't even matter which one. I mean, I remember them dropping the cheese and picking it back up. I remember like slopping the burger. And I mean, you just get an inside view of fast food and you're like, why does anyone eat any of this? Because it's so nasty. So at night, I closed Taco Bell till 4 in the morning. And I would have to carry this big, heavy ass container, it was real heavy, of oil from all that day's hamburger cooking. Nasty oil, and it was slop the whole time I'm carrying it to the dumpster. It would get all over my ugly ass Taco Bell outfit, and I'm like, oh God, this is the worst job on earth. And it was probably the hardest job I've ever done in my 60 years on the earth. The hardest job. So I'm at Taco Bell slaving for $3.35. I'm also doing the nursing home because I heard from somebody that if you're trying to be a nurse, you better get a job in a nursing home so that you have a decent idea of what to expect. Little did I know that nursing home experience teaches you all bad habits, so that everything I learned in that nursing home was completely dispelled when I got to a hospital. Like everything I learned was just terrible. So who knew? I thought I was a nurse. So I went and I got at the nursing home. So I left Taco Bell at 4 a.m. The nursing home starts at 7 a.m. And those little hours I did not sleep, which was my typical life because I was slaving, plus I had a kid. So I'm at the damn nursing home. My patient goes away with his family for a whole week on vacation, lucky him. But when the patient goes away for vacation, the aides are supposed to internally clean the room and make it spotless. And it's our chance that you're not in the room to get your room together. Now I go, Wycliffe Country Place, shout out because I did like working there. I go in that room, I clean everything, I do the bleach thing. I mean, we did the mattress, we did everything in that room. I got done with the room, I'm like, this looks like a good room to fall asleep in. I mean, the bed is looking kind of enticing and I ain't had no sleep. If I just lay here for 1 minute and catch up on just 1 minute, I'll be all right. I lay down on that bed and it just was lost on me that I slept probably what seemed to be, based on what they told me when I was fired, from 10 o'clock to 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was tired. Yeah, at least. I mean, just being real. I like to be honest, right? You know I like to be honest with y'all. So when she came upon me, and she's the sweetest nurse till today, even now, and she had to fire me. Well, she didn't have to fire me. She had to report it to somebody that has to fire you because it's an automatic termination. To show you you don't burn your bridges, you don't hold your grudges. Her brother took my class. Her brother, Mr. Miles, Matthew Miles, took my class years later because she told him to. Now, you know, I was attacked at the time she fired me. But somehow she's followed the fact that, no, I take her class. She knows what she's doing. But you fired me. So I go and I got fired, and that's a Sunday, and I'm distraught and I'm crying and I'm bawling. I think I even told my poor little 18-month-old that I got fired. She's like, yeah, okay. So I went home, and the next day, the very next day, I get up and I'm like, okay, jump in it. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's whatever. And I get the Yellow Pages, which is this big ass book of phone numbers and businesses. And in between Young and the Worthless soap opera and All My Ugly Children on Channel 5, I started looking in this book, calling every healthcare. I mean, I started from the very beginning. I called Glen Bay. I remember that. Like, I don't even fucking know what you do, but I can work for you. So I called Glen Bay. I called the hospitals. I called wherever, and I got a call back. The call back was from the sweetest recruiter in the world, Mary Beth Mack. She worked there for 20 some odd years. She was sunshine to me because her bubbly attitude gave me hope. And she's like, well, we just started this program and we're trying to see if a nurse tech would fit our model. And you being at Ursuline is a good thing. Ursuline opened doors I ain't never had open. And so she's like, well, why don't you, why don't you come on up? When can you come? I like about half an hour. She's like, well, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Well, let's have you come in the afternoon. So it's around 2 or 3 o'clock. So I went up there. I told my best friend, watch the baby. I'm gone. I went up there. I sat with that lady, and she said 2 things that I'll never forget till today. She said, what are you interested in? And I said, OB. I really want to work in OB. Like, I was really ridiculous about it too. I really want to work in OB. Like, I dropped out pregnant. My nurse that took care of me in labor and delivery was so nice. She probably should have stabbed me in my neck because I was screaming for 3 days, and she didn't. She was just loving and kind, and I really want to give back. I want to work in OB. And she's like, okay, well, what we can do, and this will be really exciting because if you make this work, and it's all up to you, we can put you in med surg right now, and if all this is successful, we will hire a new group of nurse techs, and then you can move right into OB. Now, why is that important? Because it's hard to get a job in OB when you graduate from nursing school. So even though I went to Ursuline, it's not like I can go and say I want to work in OB. No, you're not going to get an OB. They only hire one new grad a year. So I was like, ooh, this will make me look competitive on an application process, the fact that I work in OB. So I did my best. I worked in surgical first, surgical floor, then I worked in medical. Those two experiences, which is why I'm bringing this up right now, taught me what Foley's look like, trachs look like, Buck's traction, because the surgical floor was all ortho. It taught me what a cast looks like, what wrapping and amputation looks like. And think about those, just those two med surg floors, teaching you stuff that you've only read in a book, and how much it makes so much more sense looking at it. The drain, the JP drain, till today I used to have to empty those. The Jackson Pratts, the hemovacs, the chest tubes, things that you hear and you go, what is that? I did that stuff all day long. I am telling you, if you can get a job in a hospital, a nursing home, something, do it. We hire without any experience. You don't have to be a certified, what is it called, state tested nursing assistant. You don't have to do any of that. We just hire you and we train you. So I'm doing that. I'm feeling really good about it. I feel really excited to work there. The nurses were still wearing hats. That's how old I was. So it was bad. Dr. Eisenstadt, which your grandmother will appreciate this story. Dr. Eisenstadt was a head of cardiology. He would go up and down the hall smoking cigarettes. That's what was going on back then, and he's head of cardiology. Yeah, the heart attack section of the hospital, but he's smoking a cigarette up and down the aisles. Doctors would make you babysit their kids at the nurse's station. That's what's going on back in those days. These things were what we had to deal with as nurses, right? Now, so I'm going through this. Now I got the job in OB my second year working as a nurse tech. That's when I met her grandmother. Shout out to Miss Brina, because she was always kind, always nice, always loving, always sweet, always non-judgmental, and just gave me a chance. Her and one of my favorites, Dina Fox, which is probably Stewart, or either she's married now, I don't know which one, she probably is friends with your grandmother, but Dina, Stewart, Fox, whoever you are, whatever your last name is, I love you too. So they were very kind to me, and you never forget the people that were kind to you. So I say all that to say that each and every single one of you babies, like I said on the tape that wasn't running before, you're building your reputation with where you work right now. Where you work right now, whether it's a nurse's aide, a nurse tech, a nurse whatever, is going to stay with you till the day you die. Does Taco Bell remember me? Probably not, but it's different in nursing. It's different in nursing. We're still small. You still work with the same people later down the road. Don't burn bridges. Don't be mad that you got fired. Accept your responsibility in that. Be accountable for the fact that you got fired and what can you do differently. I also used to party a lot, so there's that. I didn't party that night. I just fell asleep. So I think that played a role, though, because I probably partied on Friday. So I'm thinking that's why I fell asleep, whatever. But so this crazy, long, drawn-out story is said to say, this is from throwback days. This one right here, she's a throwback. I love you. Good job, baby. Good job. Now, where are you going to work? Where are we doing? What are we trying to get for you?
I don't know.
You don't know where to work because you live...
I'm in Akron.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she lives in Akron. She's looking at Akron General because it's Cleveland Clinic now. But then she likes Fairview. And who offered you a job first? Where was it that you told me they offered
Fairview.
you? Okay.
In the ER.
Okay, so what do we tell you if that happened? Even though it was so long ago, what did we tell you?
Contact them back.
Contact them back. There's called something an email. Go find that email that you had that nice lady who gave you a chance and explain, I am begging you, if I can prove to you, you will never be sorry that you thought about giving me a chance. It's all in how you word it. Right, guys? and see if she'll give it back. Because guess what? My experience with you guys, 90% of you got what you wanted in the first place with the original offer. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Might as well.
I know.
And then if that doesn't work, let me know. Text me and tell me what's going on so we can work magic somewhere else, right?
Figure it
That's
out.
what we do. We'll figure it out. But she's a nurse, y'all. She's an RN. Just saying. And she has a BSN at a party school. Just saying. I mean, that's kind of big. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all.